In this video, we will discuss some layer basics. So go to your basic fundamentals folder and drag open a file called understanding or understand layers PSD. So when you open that up, it'll by default will have 4 layers. Basically, I have a background layer, which is pretty much a default in Photoshop, and I have 3 other photographs that have been brought into this file. This little icon here on the side, these are the eyes. It means that the layers you can see. So if you click that, check that off, you can see that that image disappeared. If I check that, that image disappeared. So this is just a visibility, like what do you see, when what do you not see. If you just click and drag like that, it'll turn off all of the layers. And then if I click it again, it'll show me that. And again, you'll see this transparent or checker box. It means that this photo, even though the canvas is this large, this photo covers this much of the screen, and this is transparent. So meaning whatever's in the background, in my case, this white background, you can see, right? So if I turn on this layer, all of this is background. So if I click on that, I'm able to see this photo, and this photo is on top of the pattern layer. I really recommend that you start naming your layers. It literally takes about 10-15 seconds, and I know that can work, add time to your workflow, but it really is helpful so that you can see what layers which, because there are oftentimes, at least for me when I'm working, I may have 30, 40, 50 layers, and it is somewhat of a management nightmare if you don't assign a name to them. So in order to name them, you could just click on them or double click on that, and then you could rename layer, whatever you want. And then of course I'm going to turn it on. Whenever you click, the layer will highlight. So that means that is the active layer, and that's what you're looking at. So whatever I do to this file is only going to affect this layer. Also, you can rearrange the layers. So if I wanted this larger picture, right now the larger picture is below these 2 photos. All I do is just grab and drag it up, and now my larger photo is on top of the 2 smaller photos. So you can rearrange the layers like this just by simply dragging and dropping. And of course I have a background layer, and by default the background layer should stay all the way on the bottom, and you can turn that on. So now let's get into some basic editing, again resizing images, and very similar exercise that we were doing in the past. So let's say I wanted this image to be smaller so that it fits in this nice little block back here. First you need to identify what layer that is. So I can kind of cheat, and I can see my little screen, so that's there. So I can click on that, and then now whatever I do, let's say I want to move it, I just click and drag, and it'll be moving that particular image. A couple of other things too is that I have this option here called Show Transform Control. That's on by default, which means that if I select something to move, these little grips will also show up automatically, which is nice and handy because it allows you to shrink this thing. But please also be careful when you are editing or resizing an image that this is a free transform. So if you're not careful, you could actually transform it. Oh, actually it is locked, so that's good. Just in case, I'm going to unlock it. If I have that unlocked, and some of you may have that unlocked, and you're able to kind of do that, and you can see that you start to mess up the photo aspect ratio, if you will. So then the photos look really weird, or they look squat, or just it's off. So in order for you to not do that, if you scale this thing and you hold down Shift, it'll actually scale proportionally. But better yet, if you just keep this checked on, then you don't have to hold down Shift, right? So then your photo will always scale proportionally. So once you're done, you can either double click in the frame or hit this checkbox. And then now let's scale this image. So I'm going to go to this layer here, and for it I have the Show Transfer Control on automatically, and it's scaling proportionally because I have that little chain thing connected. So if I just grab and move, I'll get these smart guides. Now if I move this, Smart Guide's not showing up, but it's fine. So anyhow, so that's how you rescale things and rearrange your photograph in your layout. Let's say you wanted to move these two layers at the same time and you didn't want to have to select them individually. You just simply click and you hold down Control and you click the other layer, go to your Move tool, and you can move both layers at the same time. So that's kind of your Layer 101. We will be getting into other exercises where layer control, creating new layer, deleting layer, combining layers, editing layers, that's going to be critical. Okay,